Hey everybody, it's Ricky from All Sorts of Words, and you know my guest here. This is Gem Mint from Gem Mint Collectables, and I'm I'm having some internet trouble tonight, so I hope I don't come off too robotic or anything like that. But here's the gist of it. Relatively recently, 2 months ago, I got one of my huge comic book grails that meant a lot to me, and I was really excited about it. And immediately after getting this grail, I found myself immediately back online and scrolling through eBay and on Mercari and digging through claim sales and all that stuff. And I had to ask myself, like, what did this comic book actually mean to me if this is how quickly I'm on to the next thank you next? And so I told myself I'm taking a break. I'm not going to be buying anything, right? I put a firm stop on all purchases coming into the house. And guess what happened? My phone usage went down like 80%. 80% less time I'm spending staring at my phone. And some other emotional things started coming up in me where I was thinking to myself, like, how much of my time spent in this hobby, how much of my affection on this hobby is wrapped up in money? Is me watching YouTubers who's, like, my guest excluded, like, their whole thing is like buying blind boxes and going shopping and haul videos, and it came to a head where I went into my comic closet where I keep all of my stuff, and I started pulling up boxes to get an account of what I had for a convention that's coming up. You know what I mean? Like, what do I need for run fillers? What's the list of stuff I need? And I start going through that stuff, and I swear to God, gun to my head, I couldn't tell you where that stuff came from. Some things I found, I'm like, I don't know when I got this. I don't know where I got it. I know from bank statements how much I've spent, and don't worry, I am responsible with my money. I do collect responsibly. But still, to start from this, like, hard list of these 7 books will make me happy, and then to get those 7 books and to not feel happy. I'm having a lot of emotional reckoning with, like, what does this hobby mean to me, and where does money play a fact in that? You know what I mean? And this gentleman over here, almost as if by providence, I posted a video last week that said why I just quit collecting comics, meaning I'm not to be buying more and appreciate what I have. And he had a very open and honest and, quite frankly, vulnerable discussion about finances. And I thought it was kismet. So I reached out to him, and he's happy enough to be here. So does any of that resonate with you at all?
So first of all, is this an intervention that I just got brought into?
Kinda.
So first of all, yeah, did the poles of the planet shift, and we're having these feelings around the same time? What's funny about what you're saying is, yeah, we're going through a similar thing. I think. I mean, a big transitional phase, a big revelation. But what's funny is I was always more responsible with collecting, but I got irresponsible with, like, everything that surrounded that, right? If you think about it, like, I wanted the bigger space because of the channel, because of what my hobby led to. And that's where I ended up messing up. Like, I didn't go into debt with comics or statues or omnis or any of that stuff, or mystery boxes. And not that I'm in debt now, I just have a mortgage, but I went bigger than I should have. And normally, as collectors, we find ourselves doing that within the stuff we collect, not like something that was a cause of the collection, if that makes sense.
No, that does make sense. So, like, let's start here. Like, what got you into comics as, like, a concept? Was it the stories, the characters? Was it your community?
Yeah. But before I even answer that, I think I did have a theory recently that there's definitely something wrong with us as collectors, especially collectors that tend to buy, sell, buy again. Like, we're chasing something. And like you said, these 7 books will make me happy. I'm the same way. I just do this, it'll make me happy. And boom, you do it and it doesn't make you happy. So that's probably a deeper conversation that would require therapy or something.
Sure.
But and I think, like all of us, it goes back to our childhood, man. I got hooked by the 1992 Marvel masterpieces. I don't want to retell the story the same way that I always do. I have some familiar faces in the chat, but bottom line is, I have heard and seen of comic book characters before, but something about them painted by Joe Jusko that made them seem realistic and lifelike, larger than life. got me hooked. And at the same time, those cards on the back gave you a little synopsis, but also their first cover appearance or first appearance. And I immediately wanted to know more. I think these characters look cool as hell. I want to learn everything about them. I want to go to the comic book shop and pick up these comics.
So then, okay, so this is interesting. When we're young and we have this like affection for the characters and the comics and the stories, there really is. There's no other way to put it. There's an affection for it.
Something drew us to them, right?
Something drew us to it. But when we get older, the reality of how the lights gets kept on and putting food on the table, all that stuff comes into play. What role do you think money has to either enhance the hobby or diminish our relationship to those original comic and the things that drew us to it in the first place?
You know what? That's a good question. And my immediate gut reaction is that the money, you think the more money you have, like the happier you'll be or the more you'll be able to collect, but that's not really true. Like if you don't learn to appreciate what you have, you can buy every comic book, every statue. It'll never be enough. So I think if you know whatever disposable income you have, you really have to learn how to appreciate the stuff you're really buying. Many of us get caught up in FOMO, especially like in the omnibus world, where we want to buy every new omnibus because that's where you can get it at a heavy discount. And if you wait on it and it gets sold out, then you got to pay cover price or above cover price. But meanwhile, we're buying them, and it's something we might not ever read. We have never read it. We tell ourselves we're going to read it, but we just buy it in the fear that we're going to miss out on it. So to your original question, I think, how does money play a role? Man, you think it's a big deal, but as somebody who has had nothing and has had a whole lot, and now I don't have as much, I realized that it was never the dollar amount. It was always just, making sure that you're really buying stuff that you love. Don't buy stuff because other people think it's cool. Or a couple people fall into that trap. Even recently, I've seen here on YouTube where that can be a thing. But it's a hard thing to do. And as also somebody who's going through a big like revelation process, you don't really realize it when you're in it. It's always in hindsight that you can kind of catch these things.
Yeah. I mean, so what's hard for me is the I have these things in my house. They mean a lot to me. I add them to my collection. I do appreciate them. There's almost like, and I know this now we're getting into that therapy shit,
Yeah.
but like, there was almost a shame related to like, here's the set. These are literally them. These are the 7 books that would mean the world to me, for me to own. And I got them. Where did these other 9,000 books in my closet come from? And there's like a little bit of a shame to it in the way of like, it's kind of like the person who hits their peak weight and then looks at their body and in the mirror and then has that moment where they say like, how did I let it get to this point? Yeah. So I look in the closet and I remember some of the, what are they called? Like comic crawls that I would do with friends and stuff like that. I remember some of those, and those have some positive memories, but like, I'd be lying if it wasn't 95% of everything in that closet. I couldn't tell you under threat of death where it came from, and know if I can claim that type of connection to it.
You know what's interesting? So to that point, I always looked at comics, and I used to mention this back in the day. Ordering something online, looking forward to it, looking forward to Wednesday, looking forward to that next thing, always having something to look forward to kind of made it easy to get through the week. And I don't know what it would have been like without that, but I used to look at that like a good thing. But now I'm looking back, I'm like, man, what are you trying to distract yourself from, that you're looking forward to this next thing that you're not really like living in the moment at the same time,
No, and that's exactly it. And I'm on my channel. I'm nowhere near you. I literally have like 1,150 subscribers. I've only been doing this.
Bro, once you could pass 1,000, there's no reason why you can't get to 10. I think the 1,000 is like one of the hardest things to crack.
I will agree that like I hear those like those millionaires talk in big interviews, and they say like the first million's impossible.
It's kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, so I've been doing it for a year and I've got 1,000, and like there was a genuine anxiety when I released that video last week. Why I quit collecting, of like, are people going to respond to this? Are they gonna say like, oh, well, he's done collecting, unsubscribed by the masses? You know what I mean?
Oh, no. People resonate with it. Like
my comment section went off people being like, I understand, I feel you. And so like when I heard you talking on your channel, I was like, I got to talk to this guy, because if anybody understands and has the ability to articulate it, I feel
Yeah,
like he gets it.
bro. I felt the same anxiety. That anxiety was building up in me for like 9 months. And what's so funny is I feel better than I have in over 9 months since releasing that, since releasing the subsequent videos. You know, a couple people took shots at me in the past. I would have ignored them, but this time I was like, nah, man, fuck it. We're going back, you know? And I feel better about it. I feel better that everything is out in the open. And since then, because you know, as a content creator, I don't really have a bread and butter video. I don't really have okay, every Monday is going to be this, every Wednesday is going to be that. All of my videos are kind of like based on what's coming in, but really like what you're inspired by. And I haven't been inspired to make videos in a really long time. But now all of a sudden, I'm like, my brain's backfiring on all cylinders. Like, I have a little bit more going on. I had a lot of stuff that changed in my personal life and in my, you know, YouTube life. And I'm now letting go of all that and really going back to like where I started. And it feels so good, man. I'm putting out videos that I'm having fun. I don't think I have fun in a long time making videos, man. We're kind of going down a different rabbit hole now, but
No, because here's the thing, because it is related, and you have an interesting perspective that, so like on the come up, you know what hits. I get a $2,000 statue. I put that shit on camera. The subscribers come rolling in. You're in a position where you know that, while you're also trying to like, okay, like I want to do things differently this time and smarter this time. How are you balancing the fact that you know that if you spend $10,000 today buying statues and making videos, they're going to hit, you're going to get your subs, you're going to hit your goals. But if your emotional position is like tapering these things and growing from where you were before, like how are you attempting to like wash that?
well, let me also even kind of correct that a little bit. If you're not having fun and it's not authentic, people are going to pick up on that and they're going to tune out, especially when you have sponsorships involved and now you're kind of being salesman-y. And I could buy $10,000 worth of statues, let's say last month, and do reviews on them, and I probably wouldn't get the subs or the likes or the views because people have already kind of tuned out. But when people are seeing the reason why your video popped off, and I saw it right before I joined here, it's like almost at 6,000 views. So it's like much higher than your sub count, which is good.
Sure.
It's going outside of your bubble that you've created. And a lot of those people are going to subscribe, I'm sure. But when you're being honest and authentic, man, that's what really touches people. So you had the right idea with, you know, trusting yourself to release that, and look at the results, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it so what sucks though, and this is kind of
Now you can't
gross.
collect.
I mean, it's kind of gross, but like you the internet encourages you to be vulnerable. So then there's that balancing act of like, how fucking vulnerable should I be
Right.
as like a working, because I know that you dedicated like your whole job to this. So like, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure you don't know, but like, this is me. I full-time work as an administrator for a college.
Mhm.
And then as a part-time, I call it a full part-time job because it's 8 months a year. I'm a college professor.
Okay.
And so I teach at the same school that I administrate at. And I'm a public figure, man. And so like if I'm grading someone's paper on a Monday and giving them feedback about being open and honest, and then they like pop by my YouTube channel, like I can't pull sticky goose shit. I can't start smoke with people. Like I can't. And even if someone did fire at me, I'd have to take it on the chin, because it's like, yo, I got to be working professional at the same time.
Yeah, that's true. I guess, yeah, I don't really have that problem. Of anything, I have to defend my title on here because otherwise somebody could take the throne, or somebody could, you know, convince a bunch of people to, you know, not watch my content or what have you. So it's kind of like rappers. Like, the rappers go into a battle, and if you get beaten bad enough, man, you might not be able to be a rapper anymore. You know, I think about Jay-Z talks about that when he talks about the battle with Nas, that, you know, I put my career on the line battling Nas. Like, Ether could have ended his career.
I mean,
But
Drake just got eaten alive.
yeah, but is it going to end Drake's career? I don't know. I think Drake's audience was never Kendrick's audience to begin with. He's got the girls in the club. So I don't think that that's going to be a career ender. But look at like 50 and Ja Rule. 50 did severe damage to Ja Rule's career. So somebody could get Ja Ruled on YouTube as their primary source of income. So it's a scary thing, man. It's kind of just like that thing. It's a self-employed thing. It's an art, and there's competition, and there's egos, and it's crazy, man. Like it's yeah, it's crazy. But like to your point though, yeah, when people have regular jobs, you got to be careful that it's like, it doesn't affect the real world, because this is the internet, right? It's not the real world really, but
yeah, but I mean the reverberations for sure, which it goes literally right back to what we're talking about how like, the collecting is not your life. Those arcade games behind you are not your life. And if you needed to sell them to keep the lights on or to put food on the table tomorrow, they're gone.
Yeah, easily. I sold like 9 of them recently.
Shit. So like, okay, with all of this, and we're talking about like, with all of this, and we're talking about the collecting and the affection for this stuff, that's really what I want to get back to. I want to get back to like the affection for. So this is you can't see it. Maybe you can. I only set up 3 comic books at a time.
Okay.
And right now that's the Showa Criterion collection for all the Godzilla movies.
Okay.
That is the Marvel Godzilla #1. And then that is the promo Godzilla comic they gave out at movie theaters in 1976. So that's effectively the first appearance of Godzilla, not that Archie shit, although I have that too. My point is, I got those books, I got that collection, and I set them up, and I love it. Every time I walk by, I feel something for them. Like, I love Godzilla. He's in the background right there. It's my boy.
Yeah.
I love Godzilla, and there's an affection to it. And so like I'm training myself going into this no spending to have more affection for the books that I have. Is there something in your collection right now that if you were to put into practice something like that and say like, I want to fall in love with this thing that I've collected, like what is it that you would want to put that effort into?
There's like a series. There's got to be probably 25, 30 omnibus that I probably would never sell unless I really, really had to. But yeah, I would always keep like the Amazing Spider-Man run, the Uncanny X-Men run, a lot of the Marvel events that I love, like Infinity Gauntlet. So really, like, of what I collect omnibus, I collect statues. I don't collect single issues anymore or slabs. So really the omnis, and to me, that's what I would always keep no matter what. Like a statue, I would love a statue. I would love to keep it, but I also don't really mind to sell them once I'm kind of bored of them, or maybe I'll switch gears and I'll stop collecting this type of line and I'll go into something else. But there's a handful of omnis that I would always keep, because I just feel like, man, you have those stories forever. Collected in a hardcover, to collect ASM 1 through 700, which they're not up to yet, but there's a ton of ASM omnis. I mean, it would be crazy expensive to hunt those single issues down. So to have everything in these oversized hardcovers, to me, that's just it. That's all I need for me is those omnis.
So okay. So it's perfect that you brought up Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I have
character.
Okay, perfect. So this could hit hard. I apologize in advance.
Okay.
There's a friend of mine who he's a friend IRL, and he's gonna see this. So hey buddy, when you realize this is you, I love you. No shade. He has, no joke, an encyclopedic knowledge of Spider-Man, to the point where he has one of every single Spider-Man appearance.
Damn.
And when you talk to him about Spider-Man, he knows off the top of his head, right off the rip. Webb has this many issues. Amazing has this many issues. Peter Parker Spider-Man has this many issues. And he has one of each, to the point where now he's trying to hunt down foreign appearances.
Yeah.
Because he has them all, including a 15 coverless copy, but he has it.
Yeah.
Spider-Man is his ride or die, his favorite character. Spider-Man taught him how to read.
Damn.
He has them all.
He sounds like a cool guy.
He's a great guy. The issue is space, physical space. He has a home that is full of comic books that aren't Spider-Man. And so when we were talking in his home, and I'm in his home and I'm being respectful, and I asked him like point blank, what is the end? Because Spider-Man's going to keep going until you're 80. You could keep collecting Spider-Man. That'll keep you in the game. But you have them all now. Like, why the rest of it? Like, is enough going to be enough? And with a straight face, surrounded by thousands of comics, he goes like, well, you know, like I've got a couple more on my list that I need. And then every other day he's sending me pictures of like books that he just picked up. And so I ask collectors now, like as part of the community, is there an end?
For me?
For anybody, is there an end for you? Do you see an end point?
There's no end point in this game, man. That's what we're collectors. Like it's like what it's in the present tense. We're you know, like we're currently doing it. We're not have collected or want to collect. We're collectors. Like we're always gonna collect shit, man. Like that's what I noticed with key issues. That's why I stopped collecting key issues. I was down that road too. I was collecting every Spider-Man key, all the villain first appearances, all like the notable like symbiote appearances. And then I was like, damn, Spider-Man's my favorite character. Let me just go for the AF-15. So I sold all of my keys because I had regular blue collar money. Like I wasn't, you know, I wasn't from money. And I was always about this make the hobby fund itself. And I sold all of my keys, bought the AF-15. It was a 1.5 cover detached 1.5, but it was $5,000. And I had never spent that on a comic. And really, I feel like I didn't spend it on a comic because of the way that I used the funds from what I sold. But then after that, I was like, damn, I really like X-Men. Went for the X-Men 1, went for the Fantastic Four 1, Avengers 1, Hulk 181. And I'm like, bro, once I was going for Ant-Man's first appearance, I'm like, this is never going to end. So luckily, I found the omnibus format not too long after that, and then statues right around the same time. So I ended up selling the AF-15 for the same amount that I bought it for. I lost money on fees, but I didn't have a lot of money, and I'm looking at the shelf, and every day that AF-15 turned from that comic book into like a pile of cash. And I'm like, man, let me sell this thing. What am I doing with this expensive book? I don't even own my house at the time. I'm renting a home. Why do I have this expensive comic book? So but that was a revelation too. Like this is not going to end. So I was able to actually recognize that and just get out of it. Really, kind of like how I guess how you did with your video, and you know, wanting to stop collect and maybe just appreciate what you have. I've had that same exact revelation.
Yeah, so I'm not there yet. I don't think I have the skill yet, but I can see myself in the next like 2 years. I've already like the title of the video would be like how comic book collecting brought me to Buddhism. Right?
Yeah.
Of like, man, I really gotta for me to understand where my happiness comes from, I gotta quit plugging it with shit. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I kind of lost you a little bit. You were breaking up a tad bit.
Oh yeah, everybody, I apologize. My internet is dildos tonight, and I'm trying my hardest here. I was saying that like you know, I'm trying to get to the point where I understand where my happiness actually comes from.
Right.
And if I can find that, then maybe this comic collecting game will enhance. Maybe I'll be closer connected to it. I don't know. But right now I know that I felt icky. I felt icky having all of those realizations. Like, so in 4 years, I got back into comics, like collecting comics in 2020.
Okay. Pandemic era.
Pandemic baby.
Yep.
Yeah, so I got back in and I had a plan. I was like, I'm gonna get me happy. And in the last 4 years, I've spent close to $20. Is my teaching job is very good. Good to me. You know, every year I make about 16 grand, and that's like fun money because it's a part-time job on the side. My wife is the same gig. We work at the same school. It's real money, and you can put it in like fun shit like this, but it felt kind of icky. So I don't know. That's what I'm dealing with.
Well, the thing about collectibles to me is I never really worried about putting money into collectibles because they may at least hold some value. You might lose some, it might stay the same, it might appreciate. But I always like putting money in there because I always looked at it like I said this famously in one of my old videos. It's better than drugs and hookers where the money is just gone. You know, at least it's something tangible that you could resell if you needed to and put it into something else. There's bad times to sell, obviously, but better than just blowing it on something.
Fair. Now, are you more into like the big cultural issues, or are you does rarity turn you on? Because rarity is what gets me.
No, not at all. I just want it to be cool. I don't care how many are out there, how many people have them. I just want stuff that I think is cool. Like when it comes to statues and when it comes to omnis, I just want the most badass stories collected. And I don't care if it's scarce or a variant cover or any of that stuff. I just want the contents, really.
Wow. Okay. Well, damn.
Yeah.
So what's the? I mean, so your channel's going through a lot of changes right now. What is your immediate day-to-day plan? Are you just kind of like waking up and winging it, or you said you hit that inspiration again? What's that making you feel?
Yeah,
like?
so I think actually going live every Monday through Friday, we're going live 10 a.m. every single day. It's given me so much structure back that I've lost since I've gone to do this full time. I worked at the power company for 15 years. I was always a very routine guy. So I think that also kind of messed me up too, not having that routine. And sure, you can wake up and go to the gym and it feels, good for you physically, but I wasn't feeling good in my career. I was always good at my job. No matter what I did, I always put my best foot forward and did a good job. So the immediate thing is go live Monday through Friday. I'm doing it with my wife. A lot of the audience that we've had for many years is still there, and we have a great time, and it leads to ideas of stuff we can do. Like now it's leading to this Fantastic Four omnibus read-through. Fee's upstairs right now probably reading Fantastic Four finishing issue 1. So it's the live show, and like I was telling myself, as long as I do that, I think I'll feel at least I accomplished something for that day. But what I'm finding is every single day after doing the live show, I got a pre-recorded video I could make. I got a statue I could do. Stuff's just kind of like falling into place now. And I'm doing these videos now with like my third eye open, like remembering what it was like when I used to do it back in the day and not caring so much about what the production looks like or it needs to be professional. It's like, that's not what people signed up for. People signed up because they wanted to see me unbox this thing or me give my opinion on this omnibus or what have you. So I'm just kind of taking it back to the basics, and I just have that inspiration again, man. I don't know. Like I said, I lost it and started making these changes, started giving myself some structure and routine, and now my brain is firing on all cylinders again.
Now, so you said something because, like I said earlier, like my channel's this big, yours is where I'm trying to get to, and with time and persistence, I can bash my head through any wall.
And you could do it. If I could do it, you could do it. And I look at bigger channels and I say the same shit. So again, it never ends, bro. You're always going to chase that dragon.
So it made me think, like, because you said it earlier, like the more authentic you are, the more people resonate with you.
Yep.
They want to see you.
Yep.
How do you inoculate yourself from a poor performance on a video, or you said something and people turned on you or whatever? How do you inoculate, like, if you're yourself on camera, you're being you, how do you stack that up against like a bad performance or something?
Yeah. Bro, I had to learn that for the first time recently. And it took a while, bro. Like that, I had never experienced backlash before. Like it's always kind of been this positive thing. And I've had a lot of ups and recently a lot of downs. How did I do it? Man, I think I needed to just realize that I needed to just be honest and authentic, not try to I don't want to say I was taking the high road, not responding, but I definitely wasn't. I don't know. There was a lot of things that I should have spoke on that I didn't, and I really, for the life of me, can't figure out why the hell I didn't. I think always just being yourself and being honest. You'll never go wrong with that. And even if you make a bad, did you mention Sticky Goose? I thought you did, right?
I did.
So since you brought him up, the thing that I think is so interesting about Sticky Goose is that he can make a video and everybody will hate him, but he'll make the next one and he'll kind of win you back, and you'll be like, he's not that bad. He's just joking around. Like he's got that ability. And it kind of just shows you. I've been saying this during this time as well. With YouTube, you're only really as good as your last video. If you stop making videos, people are going to stop checking in. Even though you've gained X amount of subscribers, you're only as good as your last video. So you always have a chance for retribution. And I think if you do that honestly and as authentic as you can, then you'll be able to overcome any kind of, like you mentioned, backlash or bad takes or what have you.
So, okay, I want to put this out in the universe. Since we're talking about Steve, he's a very divisive figure. I enjoy him.
Yeah,
I do enjoy him. I think the problem is, and people, old heads like the two of us, and some of the people in the audience get it right away. Remember Michael Richards, the guy who played he played Kramer on Free.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Right. You remember his famous freak out, the
Yeah.
thing that ruined his career?
Yeah.
Michael Richards had his famous freak out. If you don't know what it is, please go look it up. I'm not paraphrasing it here. He had a freak out, and Michael Richards is very funny. He has a good sense of humor. Not all his jokes land.
Yeah.
And when he feels painted into a corner, he's one of those guys that goes, just a joke, bros, just a joke. Sticky Goose has a good sense of humor. He has a healthy sense of humor. He's just not very funny. He's very dry. And so I feel like sometimes when he's making these jokes, he overreaches, and sometimes they don't land, and sometimes they come off as insensitive, and sometimes they come off as like really kind of blue. And so the audience has a visceral reaction to that. So like, I don't think, honestly, authentically, I don't think he means to harm people. I think he's just sometimes just not very funny, and his jokes don't land. And it is what it is. He's not in this for comedy, so I think that's what it is.
Well, he's in it for entertainment. But yeah, I mean, this is not his full-time gig, right? So this is just a guy experimenting with being creative. And I think what he's doing is challenging a lot of us who are content creators, because we're kind of used to doing the same old thing, you know? So it's kind of like it's interesting to see somebody within our world making this different and unique type of content that obviously people want to see. That's the biggest thing, right?
No, so here's the deal. I think everybody watching right now or will watch has had fantasy of being like, God damn it, I just want to tell that YouTuber, XYZ, whatever it is. Stop showing your tits. Quit buying blind boxes, whatever it is. And Sticky's doing it, and so there's something to be said about that like he is doing it. I think he will hit his stride. When he does, his channel is going to blow up. But right now, I think he's being rewarded for some pretty bad behavior sometimes, not all the time. But yeah, I don't hate the guy.
Well, the thing about it is, the audience that's watching doesn't have the same feelings as the person who's being attacked. They think it's funny, but and to some people's defense, I didn't really get attacked maliciously. I think he attacked very constructively. That really made me think. And there are thoughts I've had before, but it's like, damn, when you hear someone from the outside saying it, and when you hear somebody who used to be a fan of yours and has been turned off and explaining to you exactly why, it's like, damn, he's giving you the reason right now why everything is falling apart. Because if he's feeling that way, so are a lot of other people. But again, some other people's criticism was a little bit different, maybe personal attacks, insinuating something nefarious that was totally false. So I could see why they would be mad. But again, the core audience just thinks it's funny. So it's like, that's who he's making the video for. He doesn't care if some YouTuber that he never interacted with has their feelings hurt. Now take that for what you will, but I think that's the way that he's looking at it.
Now, Sticky, I'm looking at you right now. Make a point to look at my camera, because if you watch this, I am talking to you. I don't believe your channel got a strike because you picked on the sticker people, or that one guy reported you. I don't think that's what it was. Authentically, I'm talking to you for real now. I think what happened is there was one YouTuber that you did pick on where you made a bunch of gay jokes. You did. It was Mike from Lunch Money Comics, who I will disclose I have met in real life. I think he's a great guy, but some of the jokes were very Kramery, is the point I was trying to make earlier. In that, like, I think if anyone at YouTube got a flag on your video and went to go look at it, they don't care that you used clips or still images from other YouTubers. I think they care that you specifically said, like, this guy's lighting the loafers. He did like a little voice and a little lilt and stuff. And you can disagree with me, Sticky. I hope you're still watching. You can disagree with me, but real talk, as a working adult, like, there are things that you like literally just can't do on a platform like this. And I believe that was one of them. I don't think you got the strike for that. I think you got the strike for that.
That makes sense, though. Like, there's definitely on this platform too, they're going to be very harsh on attacking certain groups of people, right? I would think that that makes sense.
I mean, if
I
they
never
ran
thought of
it
that.
through an algorithm,
Well,
if they
remember
just
when I made my first video on him? I think I was assuming he just got mass reported, but then I was even thinking like it kind of takes a lot for that, right? And I was like, it can't be copyright because I don't think he was really using clips. But then again, if you watch my video, I thought he only talked about 15 people because I just was kind of scrubbing through and seeing like, oh, what do he say about Reggie? All right, what do he say about Tom? I know he's gonna say something about me because he's been saying shit about me. What do he say about me? Damn, Mother Goose said the same shit. So I just kind of looked at people like that were my friends and such. So I only saw maybe 4 or 5 of the people he was talking about. But yeah, what was I? I don't forget where I was going with that.
that's chopping it up. No, I mean, I don't see him like talk to a lot of like other creators and stuff and do stuff like this. I would love to have like just like a hangout session and bend his ear about comics and like get away from the drama and just like chat with him. I totally would. But yeah, no, I think when they report you, Google's too big. I think when your video gets reported for whatever reason you get reported for, even if it's just maliciously like, I don't like it, and you're going to report them, I think they have a million ways to automatically scrub it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then the computer saw lighten the loafers. I think that guy likes dudes or whatever he said. I can't remember, the video's down now, but like, I authentically believe that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I never thought of it that way. I mean, that makes sense. I've never gotten a strike like that, but I've never really had risque content. You know, my content has always been pretty. I don't want to say family friendly because we've had a lot of drinking on the show, swearing on the show, but it's never really been divisive. You know.
Yeah, no, I mean, so I'm into the I'm a theater geek, and so like when I do this, a lot of my videos begin or end with like sketches, and so I love doing that stuff, and then getting into the normal comic stuff. My last video, even the one that got all the views, it begins in black and white with a girl being like, "You ever been to a poetry reading?" And he goes, "I've never been to the black part of town before," and so like that's sketchy enough. So like I get worried about that stuff sometimes for real.
Yeah, I can see.
But yeah, I mean, so you know, I don't want to keep you forever, but I do want to follow up with this. Like, what is next for you? What do you see? Because you're talking about on to the next big thing, and you're talking about the day-to-day grind. But like, what's the next big project that you're at least willing to tease?
Oh well, I don't. You give me more credit than I deserve. You think I got a plan? I feel like the Joker. Do I look like the type of guy that has a plan? No, my immediate plan is just to work, man, work, and I've been working, you know, work and continue to handle my business until this house sells, however long that may take. We might have to ride out the winter, and I just have to be prepared to to keep my head above water. It's looking more and more doable just with Gem Mint Collectables, but I'm not opposed to getting a job somewhere. I'll roll up my sleeves, do whatever I got to do. But yeah, that's just the plan. And then once we downsize, man, I'm just excited about the new move, new setup, more less is more aspect. You know, it's not going to be this custom built-in shelves, epoxy floor. It's going to be posters on the wall, calyx shelves, statues on top, omnis inside. You know, having fun with the community. And yeah, that's just the plan. No, nothing bigger than that.
Are you trying to stay in the area?
Yeah, because I don't want to move far. And also, here's the thing, like, I'm not from here. We just moved here recently because I had family in the area, but they're like an hour away. So, for the last 2 years, I've lived in a state I've never lived in. And for the 5 years before that, I lived in a state that I'd never lived in. I'm from Florida. All my family, all my friends, everybody I know is in Florida. But I don't have any want to go back to Florida. First of all, it's humid as hell, expensive as hell, traffic is crazy. I'm from South Florida. So I don't want to move back to Texas. I don't have any ties there. That was just a work-related thing. So it doesn't really make sense to find a new state. This state is good enough. You know, we know the area. You know, we now know and have friends in this area. And I don't want to like move across state again. That gets kind of expensive. So yeah, the plan is to kind of just stay in this like local radius, probably a county with a cheaper property tax, and just kind of stay local. Yeah.
And we're all excited. Oh yeah, I don't want to. I'm playing roulette with goddamn internet. It's terrible.
I know I'm losing you a little bit, Ricky.
No. Okay. Well, I'll wrap up here. See, the whole reason why I started my channel, the entire top to bottom, was because I love horror movies. I can talk to people about movies. I love video games. I can talk to people about video games. I don't have anyone in real life who I can talk to about comic books. In every group of friends I'm in, I'm the comic book expert. Where that is a tough role to be in. Who would win a fight? And I'm like, man, I don't know. I don't know all the books. But being a part of this community online, you meet everybody. I never knew Gem Mint before I clicked live, man. And so I reached out to him, and I had a fun conversation. I get to meet fun people every day. This is a great community to be in. And so, like, I appreciate everybody for showing up. I appreciate everybody who hit subscribe. Oh, no, my line is choppy. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much for Gem Mint. I appreciate you. Everybody's the best.
Yeah, thanks, Ricky. It was a good talk, man.
Any parting words?
Yeah, thanks everybody for coming through. Fee, I see you in the chat. You're supposed to be reading Fantastic Four right now. Shout out to everybody. Lunch Money Comics. I've seen your thumbnails and videos pop up in my feed all the time. Thanks for coming through. It's nice to kind of meet you. Who else was in there? It was Lunch Money.
DJ
I noticed. Lettuce Comics. What's up? DJ Links. Everybody that was in here, man. Yeah, appreciate it. I like to interact with you guys and meet new people. So it's been fun, man. A lot of people have been reaching out. So it's been cool.
Well,
Harper Bomb, what up?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's saying DJ Links. I'll fuck with DJ Links. I'll get him on a live stream. Everybody's so nice. It's just such a it's so easy to call it like the community. Like, it is what it is. But like, these are like real folk who set aside their time to hang and talk about comics. So it's a great place to be.
Yes, sir. Get that internet together and invite me back on here, man.
For sure. Okay, bye everybody.